Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for today's plan with me. This week I'm using a bit of a sort of Franken kit as such. I'm using everything from the Ever After kit from Paper Crown Planner, but I did want to play around with putting my own full boxes together. So I'll try and do a little video of it at some point. I purchased Procreate on my iPad for about I think it's $12.99 in UK pounds, and I'd been looking at it for a while, and I've seen lots of people use it for when they're designing stickers for their sticker shops, but more kind of icon type stickers, like fun drawings as opposed to full boxes. So I wasn't 100% sure. I knew that I didn't want to use Photoshop because there's no point spending 25 quid a month on something that, you know, I'm not it would just be for personal use. That just feels like way too much money. So I thought I'd give Procreate a try, and it actually worked really well. I'll do a proper video on it. But if you're someone that already has it and you've been looking at this kind of thing, but you're not sure about how to make the sort of sizes of the boxes the right size, because it's not super clear, it doesn't come with like a ruler or anything, you just need to go into the sort of settings bit on the left hand side next to gallery, select add drawing guide, and then edit that drawing guide to then be 1 inch. So at the bottom, I think it's the third one along that says grid, you just need to select inches and the number 1, and then basically it just makes your page, you'll see the grid, and then you know you need to do 1.5 of those grid boxes, and then 1.9. So I do 1.5 by 1.9, and I just I do it a little bit bigger than what's needed, because I'd rather that when I put it into GIMP, I'd rather it be too big and have to crop it down rather than it be too small, because GIMP is really funny about sizing things up. It can sometimes make them look a little bit blurry. So yeah, just a note on GIMP actually, because I've done a couple of videos on it. I have found that when putting these full boxes in, if I accidentally size it down too small, so let's say I put it in and I put it in at 1.4 by 1.8, if I then edit that to 1.5 by 1.9, it makes the photo go really poor quality. So you have to make sure you're always doing it too big and making it smaller, as opposed to doing it too small and then making it bigger. So if you make it too small and you need to make it bigger, delete it and start again when it's actually in GIMP. This has nothing to do with Procreate, just generally. So yeah, I'll try and do a video on that in case that's something that you're interested in. But basically I wanted a kit that was wedding dress themed, because it was the week my sister-in-law found her wedding dress. We went shopping on the Tuesday, and it was a really wonderful day, and I wanted something that was kind of a special, exciting looking kit themed to that purchase and that experience. But I didn't want it to be a wedding kit, by way of a lot of these kits have a venue, they have invites, they have a guest board, it kind of looks like the wedding day. I just wanted wedding dress and wedding shoes. So I bought some clip art off Etsy. I literally just searched something like wedding clip art or wedding dress clip art, and I picked the ones that I liked the look of the most. I think I bought 2 or 3 in the end, because they were really, really, really cheap, like £1.70 kind of level cheap for all the clip art. And I put it all onto my iDrive, opened it on my iPad, and I have my settings set really high, because again, I don't trust GIMP's quality kind of transfer, if that makes sense. So I put it where you would normally only need 300 DPI when you're setting up your page on Procreate. I choose 600 DPI, which then does limit my layers, but and I have my page set to something like 7 inches by 10 inches, because all I need to do is one box. I just do one box per Procreate page, because then your layers are limited, so you can only have 17 layers or something, but I wouldn't need more than that for one single full box. But yes, I'll talk through that properly another time. I don't have time at the moment to be doing extra videos. Hence I'm late on this one. It's been really busy and I've not been feeling good lately. In fact, some of the stuff that happened in this week completely exhausted me for the next 2 weeks, because we're almost 2 weeks later, and it was a real drain. Half of it was a wonderful drain, the other half was a miserable drain. But yeah, sorry, so that's the context for then I put together my own full boxes. So the rest of it is the Ever After kit, but these boxes are boxes I put together myself. I need to work on getting the colours all correct because the clip art isn't all, because I went for 3 different shops. Obviously the clip art is all a slightly different colour tone, and it's fine because it's pink and white. It's not really a problem, but in future kits, I'm going to want to make sure they are all the same. I mean, I probably wouldn't mesh together clip art like this with other kits, but I will need to make sure they're all kind of the same tone, if that makes sense. But again, for what I wanted it for, it was perfect, and my printer is doing a terrible job of printing anyway, so it's not like I wasted perfectly good kits on a terrible printing quality. Yeah, it is what it is, and I think it's lovely to have a kind of dedicated special kit for what was a very special week. So that is, that's the kind of context behind the full boxes and kind of the kit that I'm using. I used everything in the bases from the kit, and then I'm using these Miss and Meow dainty dot dividers, which I've loved for years now. I'm using those across my headers, and I showed at the beginning the scripts that I used were from Paper Trail Plans. They were the abbreviated version of the script, and I used a monthly script from Sadies Stickers, and my dangling date dots, which are so cute, it was the first time I've used them, were also from Sadies Stickers. I did use some butterfly dividers from Pretty Pink Co. I've also used the washi here, the butterfly washi from Pretty Pink Co. in the sidebar and in the washi section. Update on that, just in case you are following Plan With Me to Plan With Me. I did mention a couple of weeks ago that they shipped an order about a month ago now, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I did email them just to double check it had definitely shipped and that it wasn't kind of waiting to be shipped. And they said just to give it another week or so and see if it arrives. If not, I think I'll just pay for upgraded shipping, just so that it can be tracked here. But their customer service is very helpful in their shop. They're always quick to reply, and if they don't reply via email, they've always been really good to reply by Instagram. Oh, and also just a note, I've been waiting, I don't want to say patiently because it's probably not the right word, for Sadies Stickers to announce their advent, because I think I'm going to go for it this year, because last year's was incredible and I really regretted, I couldn't have afforded it last year anyway, but I really regretted not getting it, so I'm hoping it will be kind of a similar quality this year, but she hasn't announced it yet. But if you are looking for advent stuff, the Pretty Pink Co. also do really awesome advent I guess they're like advent calendars, aren't they, or like advent boxes, and they have released theirs and it looks, again, really good. You can really customize it to your style of planning, so it might be worth, if you're looking at that kind of thing but you're not kind of heavy on the social media, I highly recommend going and checking out their advent stuff, because I don't doubt it will be awesome as well. So in terms of the plans this week, again, I've been trying to use up some older stuff. So I have used some like dot clusters. They are really old, I think from either Miss and Meow or Sadies Stickers, I can't remember which. And then I've dotted around some foiled hearts everywhere, which were some stickers that Rachel from Monk and Marple gifted to me as part of her D-stash, and I absolutely love them. They were so perfect for the spread. I'm so glad I chose silver. I think it all came out really nice in the kind of end result. In terms of the actual plans this week, my mother-in-law, we all pitched in for her birthday to go for afternoon tea on a steam train. The whole day was so stressful, start to finish. That's probably going to take up most of my Plan With Me. But basically, we dropped Wendy off, who has just decided to join us in the room. How lovely. We dropped her off at a friend's house in the morning, and as we were leaving, the traffic, she's probably going to ring the doorbell to go out. She just trotted off to the kitchen unless she can push the door herself. There goes the doorbell. Sorry about that. Annoyingly, that's probably going to have woken my husband up as well. Where was I? Yeah, we had the most stressful drive. So as soon as we left, the traffic went absolutely bonkers. There'd been a couple of accidents on the motorway, so we had the most stressful drive getting there to try and get there on time, because the people on the phone were saying, no, the train will leave without you, which is understandable. But when we got there, it actually ended up we got there within like 3 minutes of the boarding time. It took them about 25 minutes to board everyone, so in the end there was no need to rush. So that was a real shame that the kind of information on the phone wasn't the same as whatever, because we were at one point considering turning back around because it was going to be such a stressful long drive. But so we made it. It took ages to get us on board. Then we'd been sat there for about half an hour and had kind of started eating our food, which had gone quite warm because it had been left out on the train in the heat. It was a really boiling hot day. And then they announced that there'd been some fire somewhere and we weren't allowed to go to a certain station. And then we weren't allowed to use the actual steam power on the train, so then we had to move to diesel. They didn't tell us, so they said, oh, we'll be able to go 2 stops. They didn't tell us that we were going to be an hour and a half basically just on the platform at the next stop, and it was so hot, so we were all just kind of desperately looking for shade. It was and it was just a lot of standing around, really kind of badly managed and badly organised, and just a real shame, because obviously she was so excited to spend that day on a steam train. She really specifically wanted to go on the steam train, so that was a shame. And then throughout that, a load of stuff happened with Wendy, with the person that was looking after her. She'd got hold of a whole bag of treats and then ended up, of course, she's only been outside for 2 minutes, lying in the sun, and she's back in here. What a waste of a ring of the doorbell. Anything for that dog. What was I saying? Yeah, so she'd got hold of a full bag of treats, had eaten the whole bag of treats, and obviously with her pancreatitis, that can mean that she's then going to be in a lot of pain for the week ahead, and the guy looking after her just didn't seem that bothered. Then she was sick later in the day, and then he was saying she'd hurt her paw, so the day was just getting more and more stressful for us. I was supposed to stay at his parents' overnight, but by the time we'd then gone with his parents to the beach and had kind of those notifications from the person who was looking after her, it had got to about 9:30 and we were like, no, we can't stay, we need to go home. It was really, really stressful, so we raced home to go and pick her up, because we just wanted to be where she was and make sure she was comfortable and happy and, in her own home. We didn't kind of want her to have to stay with someone else in a place that she didn't know overnight. So very, very miserable, stressful day in the end from what was supposed to be a really lovely special day. And then Tuesday, I met my sister-in-law and we did some wedding dress shopping. We did that in Bristol, so I didn't have to travel far. And it was so lovely. We started off at Clifton Brides, then we went on to Wed to Be and a place called the Bridal Boutique. And she knew she'd found her dress in Clifton Brides, and I knew she'd found her dress in Clifton Brides. We all cried, or at least me and Emily cried. My mother-in-law was not too sure if the neckline was too low, but we're going to do things to make sure that is comfortable for her, so that she doesn't feel like she's got too much cleavage showing on her wedding day. So we'll get that to a place where she's comfortable with it. But it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dress. But she needed to go to the other places just to be 100% sure that wasn't like a fluke feeling of excitement. And then by the time we tried on the other dresses, we all definitely knew that was her dress. So we went back to get it. It was really exciting, but we were all really tired from the day before. So I think they were happy to be going home, and so happy to have found her dress. It's just absolutely stunning. It's exactly what she was looking for. It's kind of half the kind of bohemian style, and then half kind of this really gorgeous classic wedding dress. It's just really beautiful, but obviously I'm not going to share photos until after they've got married, just out of kind of respect for her and what she would want me to share. So yeah, it ended up being a really lovely day on the Tuesday, but that completely wiped me out. So the rest of the week was just kind of sleep, eat. We watched a couple of movies. I've been watching some Miss Marple, and I think we were still watching Jonathan Creek at this point, so I just kind of marked those things. And then my sister came over on the weekend, and that was so exciting. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. And we just had an absolute blast. We really did have so much fun. We did walks, we went out for some really wonderful food, we went shopping. We went a little bit overboard on the shopping, but it was so much fun. And I could just honestly, if I could squish her up and put her in my pocket, I would. I love her to absolute millions and millions and millions of pieces. So that was great fun. And then Sunday again, I was completely wiped out. So yeah, that's how the spread all came together. I hope you enjoyed this plan with me, and I'll see you in the next one.